And welcome to another exciting episode of New Battlefields. I am Cyber Papa, Eric Belardo, here with you guys, and we've got an exciting show today to talk about how to address Hispanic diversity in cybersecurity. So if that's what you're here to see, stay tuned. And welcome back. And thank you for being here with us. And as always, we have my partner in crime, the cyber warrior, Derek. How are you doing today?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Doing awesome, like usual. So, how do you feel about this show today?
I'm excited. I mean, especially with what we have going on with the nonprofit and Raices and all that other stuff. I mean, we have a lot of things in the works. So I'm really excited to address some of these issues and see how we can move forward.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a great show planned for you guys today. Thank you for joining us here today. As usual, if you're joining us from Facebook, please go to a link right here so that we can see your comments online here and we can respond to your questions. As always, please, I'm going to remind you guys, let's go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And as usual, please go see us in raicescyber.org so that you can join, volunteer, or donate to our causes. And we're going to be talking lot about that today. So um, thank you. All right. So again, please like and subscribe to our channel here. And today we're going to be talking about what are things that we can do to address the Hispanic diversity and diversity in general in the cybersecurity world. Talk about some new stuff that is happening. And with us today, we've got a great guests here, the staff of Raices Cyber. So I'm going to bring them on right now. Here we go. All right. Hello, everybody. All right. So let's go ahead and introduce our panel tonight. With us, we have Juan Fernandez, we have Jen Langford, and Carmen Ray. Okay, so I'm going to start with Juan. Juan, can you tell a little bit about yourself to the audience?
Yeah. So thank you for having me here today. Originally born and raised in Colombia, I work in technology, aspiring cybersecurity professional, and a Raices volunteer. Been doing tech for a couple years, about 2 or 3 years professionally, and tech aficionado for a while.
Wonderful. And you're going to be helping with the Chicago chapter of Raices, correct?
Yes, the Windy